Hey everybody, this is Steve Moore, owner of Run More, this brick and mortar running store located in Westminster, Maryland. Today we'll be talking about the HOKA Clifton 9 that's coming out in February-ish of 2023. The Clifton is just one of those tried and true shoes from HOKA. This is their most popular, most sold shoe that they've ever made. The Clifton has been around obviously for many years now because we're on version 9, and feel like people when they're coming in looking for a HOKA, there's two models that they're usually looking for. The Bondi/Bondi or the Clifton, because it's such a very approachable, very easy to kind of get into shoe. This is a mid-cushion neutral shoe, so it's designed to be like an everyday trainer. It's something that has no natural stability to it, being a neutral shoe, but this is a shoe that they always sort of brag about as having some inherent stability. So being a neutral shoe, meaning that it doesn't have any extra support around the arch or even on the outside of the foot to help with any type of movement you may have. So sort of whatever your natural inclination is, this shoe is going to just kind of accommodate it without trying to correct it. This model in particular, it has a kind of a deeper set heel to it. So you're sort of in the middle of all this cushion here. So a lot of times when you look at a HOKA, you think your foot is kind of here, but it's not. It's sort of in the middle of all of this. And I think that's one of the reasons why people assume HOKA have like a super high drop to it, because when you look at it, it sort of looks that way, but it's not. It has a lower drop compared to some of the other shoes in this kind of category. This has a 5mm drop from heel to toe. So you're kind of in the middle of this, which kind of adds a little bit of inherent stability to it. Not a ton, but just enough if you're somebody with a little bit of slight correction needs, that it should help accommodate it. Because it's a HOKA, it has that nice natural heel to toe roll to it. You know, this is one of the shoes when people come in and they're like, oh, it feels sort of like the ocean. You know, like there's a little rocking chair under my foot. And I think that's one of those shoes that reasons why people pick it up and they feel so comfortable in it, and it sort of makes sense. You know, it kind of rings a bell in their head of like, this makes sense that I want something that's going to kind of efficiently and smoothly move me from heel to toe. I talk about the efficiency of this shoe a lot. You know, like a wheel. They were trying to pick a shoe that kind of easily transitions you as you're moving, running, and walking. And this is one of the shoes that does it very well. And across the board from HOKA, different ones have different ways of rolling you forward. Some of their more aggressive carbon-plated shoes, like if you look at a Carbon X version 3, I mean, it looks like it's smiling at you. And this one has a subtle but very nice amount of that heel-to-toe roll to it. There's a lot of great updates from this version as well. You know, from version 7 to 8, I didn't feel like there was a ton of new differences on the Cliftons, but this is a nice and well-needed update to this shoe. The biggest thing out of the box for this is it's very light. I mean, and that's one of the things that most people find when they pick up a HOKA compared to how they picture it would be. If you pick up like a Gaviota or something, it's still lighter than it appears, but the Clifton is even lighter now. We had a massive weight change on this. So the Clifton 8 came in at, on the men's, 10.8 ounces, and on the women, it was 8.9. So now we've really trimmed down to 8.7 ounces on the men and 7.3 ounces on the women. That's very light for an everyday mid-cushion trainer. I mean, you compare that to other shoes that are classified in that category, and you're like a good ounce to over an ounce lighter than what their competition is on this. If you've been running in HOKAs for a while, you know, they have a version of a shoe called a Rincon, which to me is sort of like the baby Clifton. It's like a step down in cushion. You know, we call that a lightweight trainer, where this is a mid-cushion trainer. I always describe the Rincon as feeling sort of hollow, like the inside, like it almost felt like there was nothing in there. And I kind of have that vibe with this. I don't know what that's going to mean for duration on this shoe and longevity, because we did find the Rincon broke down a little bit faster, but they're really toting this as a shoe that has kind of done everything they're looking for. It fits better, it's lighter, and it should give you as much, if not more, durability than the previous version. They've also tinkered around with the midsole material anymore. It's not going to be anything that they're calling like a true classified charged rubber or like a Pebax type material that's going to be more responsive, but it is still a more engineered and more responsive midsole than you've seen on previous versions of the Clifton. So it's lighter, it's bouncier, it's more energized. And I mentioned the fit on this. I didn't love the fit on the last two Cliftons. I found that it could get bunched up at times. It almost felt too wide. You know, it was a shoe that for a lot of people that if we needed to find something that fit a little wider, that fit a little deeper, that you could pull a Clifton in a standard width and feel pretty good about it. And it's funny to say that this shoe fits better because it's a little narrower. I actually kind of think that that's the case. Like, it's not that it's become a slim fit that you need a wide necessarily. I just feel like the upper on this fits a little better than the previous version. So I actually feel more comfortable in this than I do in the other ones. I feel like I have too much play, and you know, sometimes when you get a little bit of bending up here, you can kind of get creases on the side of it. And I felt that on the previous ones, but not at all in this one. Nice and energized and fun, fits my foot well. I didn't have any slippage on the heel cup to it. So just those little bits seem to make a nice difference. Even the materials that they're using, you can see, like a lot of my other brands, they're putting a little more emphasis on being a little more of a recyclable, environmental friendly shoe. So this upper is made some recycled materials in this engineered mesh upper that they have. The laces are made from recycled materials. They even added little stuff to it by like the heel. This little tab here is reflective for a little better night visibility. So they put a little bit of more energy into the upper, in my opinion, and it pays off. It fits and feels a little bit better to me than the previous version of it. So we've trimmed some weight. We've made it a little bit more responsive. We've fixed the upper a little bit and added just a couple little bells and whistles. So this shoe now is even better than it was before, in my opinion. Now, that being said, there are people that go all the way back to like the OG Cliftons where they were super marshmallowy. And this shoe is still soft, but it's not necessarily like a sponge. I know some people are looking for that in a HOKA shoe, and I think this shoe is going to be faster and lighter, but I don't know if you're going to necessarily feel like you're sinking into it the way that some people felt in that original love of HOKA on the version 1 of the Clifton, where it was really just a marshmallow underfoot. And you just don't quite have that with this. But the thing that I like about this is because it feels a little more responsive, it feels a little faster. And just on a personal note, when I'm running, I don't necessarily want to feel like I'm sinking into the shoe. You know, I don't want all my momentum getting lost in the ground. I want to kind of feel like it's pushing me forward and propelling me the way I want to go, and not necessarily losing it going down. And so by being more responsive and not necessarily being a firm shoe, a soft shoe, not a marshmallow shoe. So you're going to have a little more responsiveness, and you're going to keep your momentum moving forward and not down into the ground. So I actually think that is a good thing for this shoe, that it didn't get super, super soft. So there it is. That is the Clifton 9. It's due out like end of January, early February of 2023. They did raise the price on this. Like we see on everything out there, this shoe is now $145, which really, compared to other things in this category, it's right where it needs to be. And this is going to be a great daily trainer. You should be able to get 350 to 500 miles out of this. And unlike previous Cliftons, because it's a little bit lighter and because to me it fits a little better, this could be a shoe you can wear to the gym and do a little bit of side to side. You know, we get asked for like, what's the best Clifton to do some of those more lateral movement stuff? And quite honestly, I don't love a lot of HOKAs to doing more of that gym stuff. But if you were going to do something and you were looking at like the Solomar, or you're looking at something like a Mach or something, you can kind of now throw the Clifton in that mix and feel okay doing it, because I think it's going to hug your foot a little bit better. You're not going to be as top heavy in this shoe as you've been in previous versions. So anyway, $145. You'll be able to find it on our website. You can use promo code RUNMORE and you'll save 10% off on your shoes, and we'll ship it out for free. If you have any questions on the shoe, feel free to leave it down below. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. And if you could do me a favor and like and subscribe to our channel, it certainly helps us find new people out there. And hey, I really appreciate all the nice, kind comments that we have gotten out there. It really makes us feel like we're doing a good job here on our videos, and we certainly appreciate it. So happy running out there, and hopefully we will see you around town.